feel like I'm sitting like way down.
Okay. You say 1, 2, 3.
1, 2, 3. Okay, so today we're going to watch the oral care videos and figure out exactly what cues our residents are giving us to determine their acceptance of us and our task together. So let's watch the video. So this is the oral care for the Emerald and Ruby Gem States. So we've watched this video, and now I'm going to ask you guys something. So who initiated the interactions and transitions in the different videos? Okay. Who modified their behaviors, speed, and vocalizations? What do you think? Okay. All right, good. What happened for the resident when the shift happened? Okay. And then, what sequence of cues were delivered and received for each interaction? Okay. So now what we're going to do is talk with your table mates and consider these. How did the interaction begin? So what happened first and why? Okay. Was the pace or speed altered at all? And why? Okay. Now I want you guys to figure out, why did or why would the aid start with visual cues? So why did or why would the aid start with a visual cue? Do you guys remember what visual is? Something you can see? Okay. All right. Why use the sequence of cues given in the order they were given? Visual, verbal, touch. So why are we going to use that sequence of cues given in the order they were given? Okay, very good. Okay, so I want you to share your answers with the larger group now. How did the changes in the person living with dementia's brain chemistry and structures impact their ability to take in and use cues? How do the abilities of the aid's brain impact their ability to change their cues based on feedback from the person living with dementia? Oh, you need to hear it again, sorry. How do the abilities of the aid's brain impact their ability to change their cues based on feedback from the person living with dementia? Okay. What are some of the things the person living with dementia is showing you, visual, verbal, or physical, that help you know what kind of cues, visual, verbal, and touch, that the person living with dementia could understand? How would you know whether or not the person living with dementia understood the cues? How would you know? Okay, very good. How would you figure out how to use a better pace, visual cues, and physical cues for this person at this point in time? Okay. Use your gem state card to help you figure out at your tables. Okay, so you guys each have a card at your table, so I want you to go ahead and look at that card and figure this out. Okay, so now we're going to be using the gem states card to identify the pace, cues, and brain changes in a series of video clips of the person living with dementia. So get into groups of 3 or 4. Okay, so we'll just have you guys go together, and then you guys can go ahead and just sit with that group right there. Okay, so just go ahead and pair up. Okay, we're going to watch each clip and stop. Then your group will identify each person living with dementia's pace, speed, visual, auditory, and sensory motor skills. Okay, so now we're playing the video here of oral care for the Amber, Ruby, and then Pearl Gem states. Okay, so we played this video, and now you guys can go ahead and discuss. Okay, you've discussed. All right, so now I'm going to ask group 1. So group 1 here, what was one ability that the person living with dementia was demonstrating? Their pace, speed, visual, auditory, or sensory motor skills as noted in the video to complete this activity. Okay, great. Okay, other groups. Give me a show of thumbs up for, yeah, we saw that too. Thumbs down for, we didn't see that one. So thumbs up, we saw that. Thumbs down, we didn't see that one. Okay, great. So now I'm going to ask you guys to figure this out. So look back in your groups, figure this out. Why or how each group thought what they thought. So why did you think what you thought? So each group, go ahead, take a few minutes. Okay? And how might you figure out if your observations were correct? So I want you guys to talk about that now. Okay. We're going to consider your work as an aid. What are some areas where your ability to make accurate observations could result in strong, positive, empathetic relationships? So some areas your ability to make accurate observations result in strong, positive, empathetic relationships. Okay. Now, determine if permission to proceed has been granted or not. Next question. What are some areas where your ability to recognize gem states could result in? You're offering cues like visual, verbal, touch to create a stronger connection. Okay. Your next question. What are some areas where your ability to recognize gem states can result in a better communication system with a person living with dementia in your care? Okay, you guys got those? Great. Now it's time to practice, okay? So this is going to be your homework. Now, work on your own and then with another person at your clinical site and practice your observation skills for various cues and pace abilities and match your findings with the gem states card. So you guys have your card. Okay, yep, that one right there. Now that you're better able to recognize the different cues you get from your residents, you can form a more complete connection and enhance communication with a person living with dementia. We will start to practice these cues in our next sessions.
And scene.